Hello, everybody. I toast to you and all you do. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I'm here today to make the full moon video. I've been trying to make this video for several days now. I've been doing research for over 2 weeks and getting everything ready and looking at the natal chart and all of this stuff. But the energy of this full moon and reflecting on the energy of this moon and all of that stuff has brought up so much that's going on in my own brain. I have had trouble making this video to share with people. So we have the full moon coming up on the 18th or 19th, depending on where you are in the world. And it is in Gemini, which is the storyteller, the spark, the devil's advocate, the let's see the whole picture, let's unveil the truth. That's, I always like to see it as let's see things from a different perspective. And then astrologically, there's a bunch of stuff going on, so we'll go over a lot of that. But I imagine that a lot of people are feeling this stir of energy that's happening right now. So I was going to go on my personal thing first, but we're going to go over the moon first. Let's start there. So first and foremost, let's go back a couple days. On the 11th, we had Venus go retrograde. So this deals with two aspects. Venus deals with your love life, family, relationships, and that kind of thing. And then on the other side of that, it also deals with your finances. And so when it goes into retrograde, you are thoroughly reminded of the complications in these areas. So you might have felt a lot of frustration, be feeling a lot of frustration right now about that. And kind of you hit a wall. It might, just a bumpy road, I guess, for that. It is also Venus is conjunct with Pluto, and this is going to happen a couple times because of Venus's path. So it went retrograde on the 11th. It will go stationary on the 25th, and no, not stationary. It'll again come conjunct with Pluto on the 25th, and then again on March 3rd, it'll come conjunct as it goes back direct. Venus has a shorter cycle, and so it's going to hit this mark a couple times. So we're really going to feel this over the next couple months until March. And you might also notice past relationships coming up. You might find that it is harder for you to find comfort in your own relationships, and a lot of questioning, what's making me feel uncomfortable? But at the same time, because it's making you question these things, and it's like I've talked about with other planets in retrograde, we often get caught up in just seeing, the problem. Okay, so that's only part of the solution. You have to look past that to see, why is this being brought up? If you get a statement from your bank and you're like, oh my goodness, I didn't even realize this was happening. It's a reminder that you need to pay more attention to your finances. We have our taxes coming due soon, and so I imagine a lot of people are going to get their tax return and get their W-2, or, all of their paperwork back for all of their tax stuff, and they're going to be surprised at what all of this paperwork says. And I think that this is going to happen all over the world, and not just here, but as everybody sums up the end of the year and goes to tally up their marks and do all of their things, I think that we're going to have a lot of surprise. This Venus retrograde is going to really point out a lot of the problems, hey, I got these weird bank charges, or hey, this thing happened that I didn't know about, and I ended up getting these fees. So check your statements, look at all of your stuff, know what you're getting charged for. In our relationships, this is going to bring up discomfort, and it's really going to highlight the love issues, the connection issues. And so this is a good time to just reach out and hold someone's hand, to just be kind and show them that love, because right now they're probably feeling a lot of conflict from that. and just try to put yourself in, put yourself out there. Even if you yourself are feeling that like, oh, I don't really want to be around people. Sometimes you just have to hold someone's hand, and then it's like, oh, actually, I did need that. And then you're like, maybe a hug, or maybe we could snuggle, So, start small and hold someone's hand, but don't get caught up in that feeling of discomfort. Let it be a reminder that, hey, I need to feel that attention. I need that love. I need to give and receive it, and find that in your life. And so this is all happening. Venus and Pluto both right now are in Capricorn. The sun is still in Sagittarius, but we're getting closer to Capricorn. So we have a lot of this Capricorn energy happening. And so, sorry, children. Anyway, so Sagittarius, this energy is all happening in Capricorn. And Capricorn calls to us to, instead of looking externally for this information, we need to turn to an internal source of authority. So when you are, stop letting the world dictate how you feel about, your love and your connections, and then also your finances, but how that all plays out. Switch to internal view of these things. Like, judge yourself from your own perspective and stop letting the views of what everybody else tells you it should be. And so that's what Capricorn is reminding us. Simultaneously, oh, don't move the cords. Did I lose you? Oh, no, okay. Anyways, sorry. Let me fix this. Because we're doing this inside. It's like a whole new world. Anyways, on the 13th, we had Mars enter Sagittarius. So this brings in a bunch of optimism, a bunch of hope, like encouraging that, like, yes, let's do this. And simultaneously, Sagittarius brings in a lot of strong opinions and judgment. And so you might be feeling that. So like as you reach out to like, oh, I have this hope and I want to reach out and do something, you might also feel like you're being judged. And that is such a sad thing in our society. And I wish that we could just move to a place where we get past that and we don't have to judge each other and we don't have to feel judged by each other. We all just need to keep in mind that everybody does what they're doing because they feel like that's the best thing for them and what they need to do because they have this information and that's what I need to do. And sometimes, yeah, you can provide them with other information and it can help them make a different choice. But just because you feel like your choice is the best choice doesn't mean it's the best choice for everybody else. So if we just let go of judging people based off of how we judge ourselves, we probably wouldn't even judge ourselves so harshly because we're just like, well, I'm not even worried about it because we're just so worried about judging. But this energy of Sagittarius that we have right now is really strong. The sun is in Sagittarius. No. Yes, the sun is in Sagittarius. And so that strong, like, I see it as like the father who's like, you need to do right and we need to go out and be successful and do the right thing and go out into the world. And the sad, unfortunate thing about the world that we live in right now is that when you try to do that and go out and be the best, you don't always meet the response that you should. You have all of these people right now who are quitting their jobs because they go to work every day. They are doing an amazing job. They work really hard and they don't get respect from their bosses. They don't get respect from the people that they interact with. The other employees are also frustrated that they are also quitting their jobs. And, you see like that viral video of the lady who quit over the intercom at Walmart. Like, these people don't respect us. Nobody treats us with any respect. We work all these hours. And you try to see people on the other side. They're like, oh, they're just living on welfare, this or that. No, that's not living, first of all. And they're quitting because they're not getting the respect that they deserve. And, you see a lot of, with the Sagittarian energy, you see that really influencing that. And people are like, I don't care. I'm just going to do this. And on the other side of that, you also see people who are making money saying, I don't care. I'm going to do what I need to do to make this money. Because that's like the two sides of that same coin. But with Venus being in retrograde and the finance thing coming up, I think also it plays into that. And it's just a lot of this bubbling energy that's coming up to the surface, and it's saying, hey, we need to address these issues. On the 15th, we had Mars also going conjunct with the South Node. And so this is like the accumulated karmatic energy. And the Mars coming into that, like, exploding that. This can be very volatile, especially when we get to the 16th, which is today, when Mars opposes the moon. And so just be mindful. You're probably going to encounter a lot of really frustrated people. I'm really putting out some positive energy that we don't have something super bad happen today. And just, please keep the world at any, whatever. But at the same time, these volatile energies, these volatile moments in our history often happen for a reason. And we need them in order to get into the next hurdle. And so as we come into the end of this cycle, we might see even more people quitting their jobs and being really mad. The protests are going on. You're seeing them. Well, the media is not covering the work protests that people are having. So many people are on strike right now. It's insane. All over the world. Not just in the United States or not just in Australia, but like all over the world, protests are happening. It is a crazy time, and that energy is really bubbling up right now. And so then we come into the full moon, which is on the 18th or the 19th, like I said, depending on where you are. This is happening in Gemini. And Gemini is the storyteller. It is the creative influence. It is the devil's advocate. It is that piece of information you were missing that you needed to complete the puzzle. And so I really feel like that's influencing a lot of these other things that's going on. So we have this like, let me tell you a story about the truth. And so I would really listen to the truths that are coming to you. And yeah, we have crazy things. And so I think we're going to see things on the news that are like big and bold because people are like, I have to speak up. I have to speak my truth. I have to stand up for what's right. And then also internally, I think people are going to feel this, and that you have to find your own truth in your own story. And what is your story? And how do you feel about that story, and reflect on that story. And Sagittarius and the Capricorn moon, or not Gemini moon, is really going to help to influence that. And so you probably are going to have some vivid dreams about, your story and where you came from and how you got to where you are and what it is like you're manifesting. And it's going to highlight the choices that you're making. Now, there is with Venus, because I guess I didn't mention this earlier, not only does Venus have to do with like your love life and your community and your connections and your finances, but it also has to do with your health. And so in retrograde, it just reminds you of your health issues. And coming in with the Gemini moon, it is going to kind of highlight some protocols and like this is what I do when I'm sick, and this is what happens at large when I'm sick, and kind of that focus. So again, on the news, I imagine we're going to see more things about what's going on with all of the stuff that's on the news and happening in the world, and hopefully we see some truth highlighted in the media. I think that we're probably going to get some more whistleblowers and whatnot on that level. And then again, on an individual level, I think that you have to address where you are in your own health and well-being and what that means to you. And with that energy of The Capricorn, I think there is a mouse back here. I hear it. I'm going to have to go hunting when I'm done making this video. It's very distracting. Oh, there is. Hold on, I can't. All right. Well, I caught that mouse and put it outside where it's freezing. Hopefully it runs to the neighbor's house and doesn't come back in here. Anyways, oh, I lost my notebook. What did I do with it? Hold that thought. All right. Sorry about all that. That was pretty, I don't like mice. Anyways, so, just knocked everything over. Back to where we were. The Capricorn influence on the Venus retrograde. We have this calling to transition from this external to internal source of authority and who's in charge of you and what you should be doing. And so as we come to the end of this introspective period and into this new light with the winter solstice, where we are reborn into something new, this is a really good time to evaluate those values. What does it mean to be healthy to you? What is your overall well-being? And how do you achieve that and what that means to you? Not what the news tells you or the media or anybody else, but you. And what do you need to do to feel healthy? What do you need to do to feel the love in your relationships? What do you need to do to feel financially secure? And really use this Venus retrograde to highlight that and help you to see that. Pluto's connectivity to this retrograde will help you connect to the visions and the transition, because that's what Pluto's really good at, is connecting us to those deeper thoughts and the transition from one thing to another. So allow those transitions to manifest. Allow all of that to happen. This full moon is going to highlight that. The full moon really highlights a lot of things, but the Gemini full moon specifically highlights the truth, highlights intuition, a spark, creativity, those kind of, and also the devil's advocate. You see things from the other's perspective. The twins, you have two sides to the coin. And so they're going to help you see that and help you make these judgment calls based on being able to see things from a higher perspective. We also have Neptune at a T-square with the sun and the moon. So that means, because the sun and the moon are in opposition, then we have Neptune over here. So it's actually making a square with both of these things. And what that's calling on is it gives you a higher perspective. It allows you to sit up there with Neptune and look down and see things from that higher place, and be able to, see them almost like that 2020 or omnipotent presence. So again, as we're having these judgment calls and we're analyzing this and we're deciding with what it is that we want and who it is that we want to be, let that energy help you see it from that higher perspective, so that you not only are making your own authority of who you are and who you want to be and what it means to be happy and healthy and connected and secure, but be able to not only just see that from yourself, but from that higher perspective. And then, if that wasn't enough, we have the buzzing universal energy flowing forth at like this cosmic speed hitting you in the face. Okay, maybe that's just how I feel about it. But so the sun is conjunct right now with the galactic center. And this is the cosmic birth, the place where energy flows forth from all dimensions and into ours and creates all things, this grand energy. And so on the eclipse that we just had, the Earth was the sun was at opposition to this, which means that it was like washing away all of the old. And now as we come into this full moon and then the sun comes into conjunct with that, it is creating this beautiful new canvas. It says, okay, we washed away all of the old. We've revealed your secrets. We've given you a new paintbrush and a beautiful canvas. And now it is your turn to rewrite what your next journey is. And this is a whole lot of energy coming in right here at the end of this season, and coming in with the, the full moon, and coming in with the solstice. It is buzzing. It is energetic, and it is really, I think that it's causing a lot of people to question what it is that they're doing and who it is that they want to be, and how all of these things kind of align with each other. And also question who is the authority in making what should be the right choice. It's really frustrating because we live in a society where news and corporations and our government and mass media and all of those things have influenced our thought process to the point where we don't even know what choices to make, because we are getting all of this crazy conflicting like rah energy and information. And then when you try to come out and speak your truth, the whole world judges you because they're like, this is what it should be. And we don't even know what it should be. And I think independently, a lot of people are really feeling this. Like, what should it be? What should my life look like? And I think we're also finding that when we decide that and we're like, okay, this is what it should be, and then we go out to make those changes, we get nope, that's not how it works. Well, that's because not everyone is doing what should be happening. So if we had more people doing that, and more people doing the right thing and acting to their best self, it would be such a better world. Utopia. And obviously that's not going to happen. However, you still should do the right thing. I keep saying should, and that's one of those things, like when you're talking to motivators, or you're talking to, even as a holistic life coach, that's when you should, whatever, that's nonsense. What are you doing is the question. And so the cosmic energy right now is asking you just that. What are you doing? What are you doing to be your own authority, to be the better person that you need to be, that you want to be, to be your ideal self? And how are you influencing the community around you in that? One of the reasons that I've been having so much trouble making this video is because of those questions, and in asking myself those questions and reflecting on that, and going out and, watching other astrologers and the superficial, like I have a couple that I love. Pamela Gregory, like if you're looking for a really great, more traditional astrologer, she's amazing. I'm still searching for other ones. I found a couple that I kind of like, but, not like, oh, this person's amazing, because of the superficial nature and the way that we communicate with each other, and our willingness to water down what we say because we don't want to be judged by somebody else. And I am so guilty of that. And I've been really having this revelation. I got a card at a metaphysical fair that said, I speak my truth. And my sister laughed, and people who know me, they're like, oh, you're like the most honest person that I know. However, after years and years and years of people telling me, oh, you're so honest, you're too honest, I kind of began to filter that back. And then in working with the previous organization that we were creating, I was speaking for an organization, and I didn't want the organization to have this face of my views. It needed to have its own views as the organization, and as that spokesperson, I spoke those views. And because it was, an open organization, I was watered down a little bit in order to appease more of the audience and welcome more people. And the sad thing of that is that as you begin to do that, you lose that truth. And so the cosmic energy right now is reminding me, and I imagine many people out there in the world, that you have to speak your truth. And what is your truth? Who determines what your truth is? Your truth is determined by what the news tells you, by what the community tells you, by what some book told you, or by what you, through your experiences, has determined to be the best choices for you. We have a tendency to fall into the social norm of being socially normed. and it's really easy to just fit in and do what you think you should be doing, and then you find yourself really unhappy. You know, you're like, this is miserable. This isn't what I want. And I just question often how many people who have socially normed into what they think is socially normal, and then they find themselves really unhappy. And I'm like, wow. And right now, like this full moon that's coming up, I think a lot of people who are in that position are going to feel that question manifest. Like, wow, why do I continue in this life or this path or these choices that don't fit with what I think needs to be happening? And if you find you have a lot of shoulds, I should. Why? You know, why are you making those choices? If they're not because of what you feel, maybe it's time to begin to adjust that and to, you know, feel true to yourself and speak that truth. And even if you feel like you can't speak that truth to other people and you can't go out and be real with everybody because they're not ready for that, that's okay. Find people you can be real with so that you can begin to manifest that energy. And this full moon is going to help to highlight that. Venus is going to remind you of all of the relationships that are not helping that. So take a deep breath and be patient. We'll come out of it in March. But, you know, be real about it. Like maybe they're coming to a head because there's a reason. Maybe you need to have a heart-to-heart, or maybe you need to let that relationship go, or maybe that relationship is something more than you think it is. So just be open for that and allow this honest energy to flow. Like I said, there's a lot of astrological things happening right now that are really calling on honesty. You need to be honest. I need to be honest. We all need to be honest. And honest with each other, but more importantly, honest with ourselves. And begin to decide, you know, what is my truth? And so, let's see if there's so much more. That's not even it. Okay, so more truth. So that Neptune, right? Pretty sure it's Neptune. Yeah, that Neptune T-square with the sun and the moon is really calling you to stop being fooled by what you think should be happening and what is actually happening and what really needs to happen. And again, with the big picture, we have Jupiter trine with the moon. So Jupiter is saying, hey, ascend to this higher level. See things from this grander perspective and really open yourself up to this truth. And so both of this Neptune and Jupiter energy is calling us to this higher truth. Everything is calling. So I imagine there are a lot of people who are feeling the same energy that I'm feeling right now. Like there's bubbling truth inside me. You know, maybe some free writing. Maybe I'm going to do that. Some free writing, something to let that truth out and to be more real, to be, you know, true. So then we have the solstice coming up and lots of ascending node in there, lots of Sagittarius energy in there and Capricorn energy because obviously we're transitioning into Capricorn there. And this is just that like energy of like exploding new. And again, I come back to this analogy of we, through the eclipse season, have had a lot of washing away, a lot of unveiling, opening, and we are being presented with this new canvas. What is a canvas that you want to paint? What is it that you want to create in this new beginning? I know for me personally, it's of truth. It's of honesty. I know even in some of these videos, some of that watering down has filtered through, and I want to be able to connect more with the people, and I'm going to do that through being more honest. It's hard to, I guess, take authority to be of that present state, or whatever, and it's time. And I think it's time for a lot of people to take that authority over themselves and take that confidence and really move forward. And so that's my goal. And as we come to this full moon and all of this bubbling energy, I just want to send out this little caution. Like, be mindful. There are going to be a lot of people who are really angry, a lot of frustration right now, because as we reflect on the truths and the reality of life and what we want in life, and when they don't align with each other, it's really, really frustrating. It can be really overwhelming, especially when you feel like you're doing all of the things that you should be doing. I often feel like I do all of the right things, and then bam, something bad happens. And you get caught in that moment and you're like, why? Why is not the question. The question is, what is the lesson that I need to learn from this? And we take those lessons. And as we have these highlighting energies and these cosmic energies that are telling us, see the truth from a higher perspective, realize where the problems are and begin to fix them. Take these steps to have a better next year, a better everything in the future. And don't get caught in that anger, I guess, is the caution. And also don't get caught up in the anger of other people. People are going to be frustrated all around you. The coffee people guy, the people at the fast food place, wherever you are, you're going to run into these people who are super frustrated because they don't understand. And this is like a cosmic energy that's affecting everyone equally, whether you believe in it or not. This is the cosmic energy, even if you don't know about it. I always think that it's funny. My husband is very influenced by the cosmic energy. And there are times when I'm like, wow, this Saturn retrograde is really getting you. Or whatever it may be. And he doesn't want to hear that. But if we begin to see these moments as lessons and we begin to take away from them the experiences that we need in order to not live this cycle over and over and over again, we are really being encouraged by the cosmic energy. Like, literally, we are being, like, the sun is in conjunction with that, and it's like, yes! And then the sun the energy is reborn on that solstice. So again, we have this abundance of energy available, calling for you to make those changes, to stand up and do it. So, oh Lord, the video is getting long. All right. That's my words of wisdom from this full moon. I hope that you have a blessed full moon. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys all soon.